Let's go to Queensland now and catch up with One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. Joins us from Scenic Rim. Good to talk to you, Pauline. Now, I've got to get your reaction to what Dominic Perrottet has confessed to. He's a man who imposed vaccine mandates, now admitting it was wrong. Good on him for doing that. But what are these politicians doing to fix it? There are still mandates in place. There are still people kept from their jobs, and nobody wants to actually talk about it.
Good on him for saying it now, but it's a little bit too little too late, especially when he's got a good job, international job now, overseas, and he's going to be out of the country. The whole fact is that politicians are not being made accountable for their comments or for their mistakes that they make. And, you know, I was held down for my stance on this, Chris, constantly, time and time again. And the fact is people knew they weren't listening to people. They were not following the right advice. How come I could get advice about having the jab, the mandates, the lockdown of the borders and all the rest of it, and yet they have all their advisors, all the health officials, everyone else around them, and they can't get it right? It just stinks to high heavens about politics being played out here. It's about controlling the people. And that's what people are fed up with. The politicians making false promises. Then once they're not in the position anymore, saying, oh, well, sorry, I got it wrong. So what? You know, get on with their lives. No, it's not good enough. I'm sorry.
It's just a problem that there's no push for a proper royal commission. Neither of the major parties is very interested. As I say, most of the media are not interested. And I've got to say, most of the public seem to think,
Chris,
oh, it's all behind us, let's leave it behind.
Hold on. It's not. It's not. And I'll tell the public this, right? There has to be accountability for what happened in Australia. I was still fighting for the firefighters from New South Wales and Victoria who lost their jobs over this. The mandates were not imposed on the firefighters still working, yet they couldn't get their jobs back. I'm still speaking to nurses, health professionals, even doctors and other ones who lost their professions because of the decisions made by these premiers and by this Prime Minister at the time and the Cabinet. No, there has to be accountability. Chris, if we don't push for this, they can do whatever they want to, knowing they can walk away and just wash their hands of it. It's
Absolutely.
not good enough. I will keep pushing till we get a royal commission, and hopefully after the next election, and I will promise people this, if One Nation has the balance of power in the Senate, I will push to have that royal commission. And we're going to try and get a commitment out of the government because I'll have the balance of power, and I will push them for it because the people deserve it.
They sure do. The country needs it. The people deserve it. And let's see if we can get the coalition to make it an election promise, perhaps.